battle with Black Seas, using our house rules as usual, but we wanted to do a smaller battle, maximum 1 rated ship, and it cannot be larger than a frigate, and then the rest needs to be unrated. 500 points, but we're using our custom ship lists that I put up at some point here on Battlescribe. So Marcus' fleet, he has a Xebec-frigate that we are running as a light frigate with our house rules, and he has a Xebec. It's a normal Xebec, right? It's not a large Xebec? Large Xebec. So he has a large Xebec, and then also I have to say the Xebec-frigate, it's a veteran, and then he has 2 gunbrigs. So those I want to stay away from. They have carronades, and then a cutter, a navy cutter. And my fleet, it consists of a frigate, normal frigate, like a large frigate that we call a large fifth rate. It has a veteran crew, it's the Shannon. And behind that we have a brig, and that's, yes, a normal brig, but with a veteran crew. It's the Curieux. And then we have HMS Cormorant, which is a corvette. You can find that in our rules as well. Basically has 1 heavy, 1 carronade, 24 ship points. So it's a little bit heavier than a brig, but not much. A little bit more expensive too. And then we have a navy cutter. I broke the commissioning pennant on this one just before the battle, so it's going to have to be without. And we have HMS Pickle, which is a little schooner. So we have a couple of ships here that are fore and aft rigged. Maybe the sound is going to be too high when I'm talking. I don't think so. So they're fore and aft rigged, which means that when we're using those rules for it, so they have 30 degrees at the back, where they can only have battle sails, and then 30 degrees at the front, where they would be at risk of having to tack or becoming in irons. And then also battle sails there in the front sector. So I'm probably going to show a picture of that here in the video. So a couple of ships that can maneuver pretty nicely towards the wind. We rolled sectors in the beginning, so Marcus ended up in sector 3, I ended up in sector 5. Actually I ended up in 3 initially, but we decided not to be in the same sector because that would be just a shooting match. So, and we decided to have a couple of islands. They don't show in the video here in the beginning. Maybe we're going to show them later if we move into that area of the battlefield. A large map with some landmass on one of the sides. North is where Marcus' ships are, and south is where my ships are. And we rolled the wind, and the wind is actually blowing straight from the north to the south in this scenario. So it's blowing straight towards my side of the table here. Did I forget something, Marcus? No. So we're going to be playing turn 1, and we'll see how it goes. So, okay, round one. I sped things up here, just so you can see how we moved around. Battle area turned a little bit smaller for now. Island, big problem. We have a couple of shallow drafts, or actually one shallow draft. It's the Xebec, right? The rest of them are not shallow drafts. We have the fore and aft riggers, but still, Marcus' plan backfired. He wanted to move up close with one of his gunbrigs. They just have 8 in range, but they have those smashers, the colony. And as could be seen, it was just out of range. I mean, we could move the whole thing, the 8-inch measure, in between the ships. That means it's not in range. So just a couple of millimeters out of range. So I thought I was going to smash him completely, but the island got him in my way. We are running this with our house rule, where each ship has a 30-degree arc of fire from the middle of the ship. So instead of it being just those straight lines, we have that arc, 30-degree arc. So as it was, I could fire both with the frigate and with the brig. Both those were veterans, but the rolls were deplorable. I had a chance of a crit with one of the light cannons on the frigate. However, it turned out it didn't score, so there was no crit. Altogether, the brig took how much damage? 6 points of damage. Still, it's a small ship. It's down to 14, right? At 20, and it strikes on what? Low 10, 7. So I worked away at it, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted. And then also I had to avoid a collision with the little schooner there, the Pickle. It managed to do that without a problem, since both ships were small, or at least one ship was small. That's a +2 to the roll. It wasn't a veteran, it rolled a 3, so I could easily pass behind. Of course, you wouldn't be turning into the wind, you're turning with the wind if you're avoiding a collision. So you turn with the wind, so both those smaller ships of mine, the cutter and the schooner, are on their way around the island there. They have to stay with our rules are islands 2 inches. Actually, islands are 1 inch with our house rules. We did that wrong. It's land 2 inch, islands 1 inch. The normal rules 3 inch land, 2 inch islands. So we fucked up here. But
should be 2 inches.
Yeah, we run it. Now we're gonna run the rest of battle like that. So 3 inches from land, 2 inches from islands. So maybe the normal rules are 3 inch. I can't remember. We're gonna run it like that now. Of course, islands do affect gameplay, but it's a lot of fun. So that's the situation after turn 1. We're going to roll the wind here, and then we'll be running that turn, and we'll see how it happens. So Marcus is going to roll the wind. He has the wind gauge. Let's see if something happens with the wind. He rolled a 6, so nothing happened with the wind. The wind stays the same, blowing from the north to the south. Okay. So, turn 2, we're gonna run. So the situation after turn 2, and it's a mess. The frigate turned out, I didn't turn it far enough out of the way, so it's in irons. So it ended up drifting 3 in the direction with the house rules, 3 in the direction it was moving. Next turn it's going to start drifting with the wind. It had a crew hit because of, so it's actually going to take another D6 in damage. We forgot that because I missed that crew hit, so it's going to take a D6 5 in damage. Because of a critical hit that Marcus had on the frigate. So it's pretty damaged at this point. How many ship points does it have left?
15.
15 ship points. So it's really not feeling good at this point, and it still have to avoid the island. It did do a lot of damage. You're allowed to fire when you're drifting. You even have +1 to fire when you're drifting, so it did fire on the other brig, and that took some damage, right? It took what? The other bridge? The gunbrig?
It took 6 damage.
6 damage. So the other brig is damaged. Marcus' little cutter is on his way around the island. I haven't moved my cutters yet, so I forgot that, so I'm going to move them right now. They're going to move. You're not seeing them now. I'm actually going to move the camera now that we have it moved a bit. Sorry. So here is the situation. So we talked about the frigate, and we have the little cutters moving around the island, the schooner and the cutter, and Marcus' cutter is also moving around the island. Most ship has fired their initial broadside. Marcus Xebec moved up to the back of my line, fired the initial broadside there, was ineffectual. It actually missed. My brig fired its second broadside, and it hit the already damaged brig of Marcus, the gun brig, and ended up wrecking it. So we have a wreck there. A cormorant fired its initial broadside on Marcus' frigate and did a bit of damage there, 6 damage I think. And then that's the situation. Marcus fired on my frigate as well. So the frigate has taken most of the damage at this point. Actually, I think all my other ships are undamaged. It's just the frigate. But the frigate is heavily damaged, so it's right now halved and drifting and yeah, not having a good time. So we're going to check again if these are entangled or not. +2, 4 from 6, so 2+. They are not entangled, so they're going to drift independently, I guess. The wreck and the frigate. No, actually, we did test it. They weren't entangled. Yeah, they weren't entangled. So it's the same result. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's it. We're going to drift the ships now. We're going to check the wind first. You roll the wind, Marcus. You still have the gauge. 8, so no difference. Wind stays the same. We're going to see how far this one drifts. So drift straight down. 1 inch, going to be here somewhere, like that. Right in the way of my cormorant. No good. Okay, and we're going to see the frigate. How far does that drift? It's 1 inch. So it's going to be drifting like this, like that. And like there, somewhere, not somewhere, right? Yeah. So that's the situation at the beginning of turn 3, which we're going to move into now. Fun battle so far. I mean, sometimes fun to play Black Seas. Even with the app, I think B2 quarters, running this many ships without having that many captains would be a little bit messy. Because you would actually have to decide on some kind of order. I guess it would be a little bit random if you don't have more players, because suppose all ships should move at the same time, right? And so you would have to probably face the action, so you move in small steps. I think it would take a long time. We're going to have to test that at some point, right, Marcus? But for larger battles, really. And this is enjoyable, so I don't see a reason to change things around. A little bit more generic, but it's fun. Right? That's the point. So let's see. Wind gauge. 1. Nej, 1.
2.
2. 3.
3.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Ja, den är ju för den är så.
Nej, nästan.
Ja, det är det. Just det.
The nose, where is your nose? Så du är nästan.
This.
So this is the situation after round 3. Unfortunately the frigate, it struck flag. It couldn't take it anymore. So pretty useless. I've never had so much luck with one frigate. So it's out of the game. And so is one of the gunbrigs as before. The cormorant couldn't, since we're running this without the special rules at all for any nation, so there's no re-rolls and stuff like that. So, and there was, even if it was a veteran cormorant, the corvette or the ship-sloop, it collided with the wreck and took a lot of damage from that. So that's we're going to check if that's entangled now. And then over on the side here we had a little bit of a fight with the small ones, and there was actually a rake. My navy cutter, the Dart, raked Marcus's ship, and also had a critical on it, so one of its gun sights is disabled. It managed to retaliate on actually on a fire as she bears on the Navy cutter after, but there's a little bit of a fight. How much damage has that taken, your Navy cutter?
Oh, it's taken 6 damage.
6 damage. When does it strike?
5.
So it's a fight of the small ones. My brig is moving around the island at full sail. I had to back to stay out of range of the island, didn't want to collide with it. Marcus's big hitters are moving around. One of them have taken a bit of damage. The big one did take a little bit of damage, right? The other one is undamaged. They're trying to move around the side there. Cormorant is in a bad situation. We're going to see if it's entangled now, and then we're going to have some drift, and then we're going to move into turn 4. Fun. It was one of the most fun Black Sails game I've ever played, to be honest. It's a lot of fun. This
eventful.
Very eventful. Lots of stuff happening. So cool. Let's see. Let's roll for the wind. You still have the wind gauge, sir.
Yes.
So slå for vinden.
No. You have.
I have the wind gauge. Okay. Yes. So I'm gonna roll. 9. Nothing happens. Wind stays the same. We're gonna see if Cormorant is entangled or not, and it's +2, so it's going to be entangled on a 1 or a 2. Otherwise, it's not entangled. It's not entangled.
Drifting as well.
Yes. So then it's going to drift past.
How much?
Let's see. 1 inch. This is going to be on the other side here of this. Here, and then we do roll for the big one. See where that drifts. How much? 3 inch deferment. Like around here. Stop. They're like lined up. That looks funny. Yep. So that's the situation for the start of turn 4. So the wind gauge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the turn of order. Let's do this. Okay, so situation after round 4. So over in the small ship battle area, so to say, over on the west side of the board, Marcus's Navy cutter has struck its colors after taking more fire from my schooner and my Navy cutter. So it just continued in the direction it was moving, and now from now on it's just going to be drifting with its color struck there. My brig moved up around the island and managed to get off a long range, or within 10 broadside with its heavy guns. And he actually did a little bit of damage to Marcus. Marcus is close to striking, and he's halved with his gun brig, his last gun brig there. Cormorant managed to move around the ship-sloop, managed to move around the wreckage and avoid colliding with the island, moving under light sails. So ready for next round. And then Marcus's Xebec-frigate and Xebec are moving on under full sails, right? Both of them full sails, trying to catch up with the line. With the battle. So that's the situation on this round, and I believe you might have the weather gauge with this guy.
Mm.
So you should roll the die. Actually, no, it has the weather gauge. So you roll. You're gonna move first with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened, the wind stays the same. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to move the wreckage now. It's going to be drifting, so can you roll for it? Roll for the brig, and for the frigate. How many inches does it drift?
2.
2 inch. Okay, there we go. And the frigate,
3.
3 inches. It's not a click. Close, but no call. They're gonna be like, ooh, what the hell? Yeah.
Ja, jag skulle svängt andra hållet istället. Skitsamma.
Okay, so we are ready for turn 5. Now,
Yes.
fighting around the island. Okay. So, end of round 6, I think it is, yeah. So what happened, Marcus's brig here, that was this round, right? It struck its colors, and Cormorant has taken a bunch of fire, not so much, but enough to half it. So it's halved, and since it just have one heavy and one carronade, use a corvette, one of those, I guess we'll do that random. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be the heavy gun, and then 4, 5, 6 is going to be the carronade. So it's going to lose its carronade. So just have one heavy gun on its side. Also, it was a critical, so on that side facing Marcus, it cannot fire. Which side is that? Is the port or starboard? Port side. So port side. Both Marcus's ship moved at full sails, right?
Yeah, no, just the
the frigate.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one at battle sails. So we're going to roll the wind, and we're going to move into next turn. Drift shifts and so on. So I guess I'm going to roll.
Yes.
See what happens. 11.
Ooh.
Something happens.
Winds of change.
11. Winds of change. Move the arrow on the windrows one step anti-clockwise. There we go. So anti-clockwise. Also, any wrecks, not struck ship, but wrecks. You had a ship that was wrecked, right? That one was wrecked. So remove that from play. The rest are just struck, right? So the wreck is out of play. So that's the situation. We're going to drift the ships, and now they're going to be drifting in that direction of the wind. So let's see, let's move here. This one, how far? 1 inch. Okay, that direction. This one. 1 inch. So it's going to be like this. So, and then this. 3 inches. Something like that. And we're marking that because we don't have wrecked tiny ships. We just have brigs. So we're just marking it with the red that is struck. Its colors. Yeah. Okay, so that's the situation right now. Some of the ships have taken damage. So the corvette is down to 11 ship points with a gun deck hit on the port side, as I said there. The schooner is undamaged. It has 12 ship points. The brig has taken a tiny bit of damage. It's on 17 ship points. It's a veteran. The frigate sunk, as we know, and the cutter has taken a tiny bit of damage. It's down to 11 from 14 originally. And then for Marcus, he's lost both his gunbrigs are sunk, and his cutter has struck its colors, and he still has his Xebec, which is undamaged. It's been unengaged. And then he has his Xebec-frigate that started with 32 ship points, and it's down to 26 ship points. So it's taking a bit of damage, and it's also a veteran. So the situation is, I mean, it's not. I had the British. I mean, I do have more ships since I just lost my frigate. However, my ship-sloop is quite damaged. So the situation is looking a little grim. My tiny ships. Yeah. What can they do? They do have guns, and I mean, his Xebec doesn't have so many. If it's a large Xebec, it has 20 ship points, so it's a glass cannon. It has a lot of guns, but it can't hit that hard if it's damaged, right? All I need to do is a little bit of damage to it. So let's see what I can figure out. I do have the wind gauge. All my ships are moving before Marcus's ship, so all my ships get to do their stuff before. and the wind changed so that all of them could go on full sails if they wanted to. Actually, not the... It actually changed so that the two tiny ones, the schooner and the navy cutter, they are just allowed battle sails because they have the wind straight, so they're running before the wind, so to say. Yep. So that's the end. We did I didn't know if I filmed that, otherwise it's going to be double here, but we did some tests here, and the brig fired on the Xebec and the Xebec struck. So it's end of game, bloody British victory. Very fun. We had a lot of fun. This was really nice. We used our Black Seas house rules. Available. It's based on Model Phil's quick reference sheets, and with some additions of our own. Works really nicely. Recommend it. I have a video about that and our how to use Battle Scribe and our house rules for the ships, ship stats and so on. So I'm going to put a link to that here if you want to try it out. Also, using islands, lots of fun, guys. If you have the possibility, do it. We had like a light tower and had a coastline and everything. Lot of fun, and a close, bloody, barely British victory. Surviving Spanish ship is the Xebec-frigate, which sailed off the board now. Made it off in the dawn, dusk to dawn, dusk in the dusk. Yeah, so lot of fun. Gonna make the smoke effect. Haven't done it. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that, but I will do it. So probably smoke effects out before this one, and then I'll release this battle report. It's 500 points, maximum 1 frigate, and then the rest unrated. Lots of fun. Also with the directions where you could come in and everything that we roll for, and the wind and so on. Recommend giving it a go if you haven't. So until next time, I wish you all fair winds.